Hi, I'm James Cole Morrison. I bitch about it, so you fuckers can listen. So, to bring you up to speed, nothing much has changed. I'm just lying here, just scratching my wire balls, just waiting for my wife to come upstairs, just so we can, share an intimate moment of falling asleep and doing nothing. But you know what? I just realised I just thought to myself, while I'm waiting for her to finish up on our TLC binge, maybe I should just get you up to speed on my thoughts on the latest Star Wars film. Yeah, yeah. Oh, I don't know. Oh, fuck's sake. Nothing so far this year, and in fact, probably nothing at all for this year, considering it's like December 18th. Nothing this year has sort of cut me so close to the middle. Like I try to see the good in the bad, and sometimes the bad in the good. Um, but this really has sort of griped me. The sad, uncomfortable truth for me was that this was a very good film. It was. It was a fantastic film. The dialogue was great. The acting was fantastic, but and the sad truth is, it's really unfair for me to say this, and I understand, I appreciate that this is unfair for me to say, but as a fan of the original trilogy, and bear in mind that the original trilogy was literally been cut to pieces, and there have been changes and alterations for going on for decades now. But as a fan of the original trilogy, this kind of this film was kind of a kick in the balls. I've got to be honest, it was a kick in the balls, and I think when you sort of look back on it and sort of look at the good bits of the film, and there were like some fantastic bits, eye catching like sort of eye catching stuff. The one thing that I take away from it was that yes, I'm seeing great action. I'm getting into the story in places anyway. I'm enjoying what I'm seeing, but this doesn't feel like a Star Wars film. It has Star Wars characters, it has Star Wars references, but it doesn't feel like a Star Wars film. It feels like a Marvel film, Marvel light almost. And the more you sort of think about it, at least the more I thought about it, the more that sort of dawned on me. You had the same kind of tropes. You had the weird sort of like humor. Granted, when the old Star Wars movies start like attempted humor, they sort of fail miserably. And at least in this instance, the actual humor was funny. People were laughing, and I found it quite funny. But almost every single character had to pull a fucking joke out of their ass. Just like the Guardians of the Galaxy. When Guardians of the Galaxy came out, it was fresh. I enjoyed it. The humor was great. I actually thought that was going to be the next Star Wars, and potentially could be. But this new Star Wars film felt more like Guardians of the Galaxy. It had that weird sort of like chuckle humor every now and then. Everything from the choreography to the sort of like the slow sort of like motion sort of caption shots, and even just just sort of I'm struggling here because I don't want to spoil the actual plot of it here, but just sort of like the just sort of like how the story progressed. It's very sort of akin to sort of like a short version of the Netflix Marvel stuff. And again, I can't go into detail on that because I don't want to spoil any of that delicious plot. But there are sort of, to put, to wrap this up very quickly here. I know this isn't exactly a riveting sort of review. But to wrap this up without giving any spoilers, there are certain elements to this film that people will enjoy. There are certain cameos that people will enjoy, but there are going to be certain aspects and elements of this that people are going to rage and feel absolutely completely frustrated about, especially with sort of like the old guard characters, like the guys that you followed like literally since the 70s. You're not going to sort of like the sort of final conclusions of some of these characters, I don't think. And it is going to raise more questions and develop more plot holes, and people are sort of realizing everybody's coming out of this saying that they've really enjoyed it, that they absolutely loved what they saw. But I think if they're going to sit down and sort of stop and think about it, this is actually gonna make people think, why didn't any of the Jedi do this? Why didn't anybody? Again, I don't want to spoil it, but you'll know it when you see it. And when I saw it, I thought it was absolutely cool. Like sort of like what happened near the finale, it was like kind of like an awesome sort of thing. But then you sort of stop and realize, well, why doesn't anybody done this up to this point? Well, as you know, why hasn't this been a thing? Surely this would sort of solve a lot of sort of like problems, especially with episode 3 with Order 66. Yeah, but anyway, the one thing I will spoil, the one thing I don't mind spoiling, this is the absolute must for any Star Wars fan that had a fetish for Luke Skywalker drinking alien tea juice. Yeah. If that was ever your sort of thing, if that was ever your sort of fetish, if you've ever sort of had a weird dream and thought, I really want to see that, this is for you. This film is for you. And I suppose another thing, if you want me to be a complete and utter like chauvinistic twat, I would get behind this young woman as a Jedi Master. She wasn't wearing fucking eyeliner and lip gloss like constantly throughout her Jedi training. Granted, it's a little bit unfair because Kylo Ren was wearing lip gloss as well, and so definitely quite a bit of eyeliner. But even so, something about that really sort of annoyed me. Why couldn't you just have a plain-looking, kick-ass woman, like sort of learning the ways of the Force? And yes, I know it's a contradiction because she wasn't wearing any slap, and I'd probably be calling her an ugly bitch. So you can't fucking win, can you? Sorry to say, but never mind. Other than that, I thought it was a very good performance. No real gripes with the actors. I still really can't get behind Kylo Ren, but to be perfectly honest with you, he put a decent performance in, like the actor. I didn't have any gripes. But again, there are certain elements. There are certain elements to the plot that I really, really did not like, and I'm really starting to question what episode 9 is going to be like. But hey, only one way to find out, and that's to give them more money and sit down and watch it. And yeah, let's be honest, I'm definitely going to be doing that. Yep, you got me, Disney. You got my money. You got my money. You got all my monies. Well done. Congratulations. Overall, decent flick. Definitely worth a watch, but yeah, it's going to piss some of the old guard off. I can definitely tell. But hey, never mind. It's just a film, and it's certainly not a bad one. So by all means, enjoy it. You probably watched it already, but never mind. I'm going to, fall asleep now, whether the wife's here or not. All right. Have a good day, guys. See you later.